stop for a while presenting the slide just now. So I just want to show you how to start with your Z schema. Okay. So if you refer to the Google Classroom, actually I put there step by step of your Z schema. Okay. So the first one is actually one, you have to list all the basic type. Okay, and then you have to list all the free types. Okay, then axiomatic definition. So this one is if any, if let's say you have, and then after that will be state space schema, initial state. Okay, operation schema. Okay, so operation schema, and then you may have operation schema either query schema or change schema. Okay, after that, after the operation schema, then you have what we call as error scenarios or error handling schema. Okay, then after error scenarios, then you are going to produce what we call as complete schema. Okay, so these are the step by step on how to do your Z schema. Okay, so from here, okay, let's say you have the basic type. Okay, so the first one is you want to go for basic type. Okay, for your assignment, you can do something like this. Let's say I will use my module. Let's say my module, normally I will use customer. Okay, customer, remember, I will show you as the customer as my module. Okay, we put like this. We put on top here, customer module. Okay, assuming that I will have customer module as my module. Okay. And then I want to have basic type. Okay, basic type. You can list all, but not referring to customer module only. Just that I want to show that I will refer to the customer module. So maybe I will have name, how to write in your assignment. So I will put the set of all customers. Okay, my system, for example, I write like this. Then I may have email. Okay, then I have the set of all email, blah, blah, blah. You just type. And then maybe I will have age. Sorry. Age is N. Gender. Gender pre-type. Email. Another one. I want to do another one. Name, email. Customer. Address. Okay. And set of all, whatever lah. Yeah. So let's say these are basic type. So after I list down all the basic type, then I go for free type. Yeah. Then just now free type, gender, male, female, for example. Yeah. Then I will have, your friends also will have, so you list down all the free types. Okay, all the free types. So after that, I want to have axiomatic definition. So this one is up to your system definition. Okay, so maybe let's say I want to have axiomatic definition. So I want to have a constraint. So you can choose either this value or this symbol, insert axiomatic with predicate, or this symbol, insert axiomatic without the predicate, without constraint. So either one. So let's say I want to go for sleeping tea. Okay, so I want to say that age range, example of type N. Okay, so for my system, the age must be 21 and above, for example. So I put age, not max, mean age, minimum age, not age range, minimum age. Okay, so mean age, for example, must be equals to 21, for example. I want to do this. Okay, minimum age equals to 21. Okay, if you don't want to use axiomatic definition, I can also do, because this is constraint, for example, I can do something like this. Okay, so you can have like this. But sometimes for me, I prefer to go for axiomatic definition symbol. Okay, so it's up to you which one you prefer. Okay, which one you prefer. Okay, so this one is if any, this one if any. If you have, then you put. If you don't have, then it's okay not to have. Okay, so after that, if you refer back to the step by step, the next one is state space schema. Okay, state space schema. Okay, so this is your starting state. Okay, so I have state space schema. Okay, the symbol for state space schema is this symbol. So you click insert schema with predicate, then it will show like this. So for your assignment, okay, the schema name, I want you to use your module name. For example, for me, customer. Let's say in this question is customer, then the module name here is customer. Yeah, so the module name here is customer. So now, remember, state space schema is a static schema where it will actually, it will actually communicate with database data. Okay, so assume I will draw a table to show, let's say, my database data. Yeah, so assuming these are my database data that I will have later, assuming these are actually all my records inside my database. Oops. Okay, where I want to store customer name, I want to store customer email, I want to store customer address, customer age, and customer gender. Yeah, I want to have all this information inside my database. Okay, for example, I want to have this. Yeah, so the data that will be stored inside my customer name will be, for example, for customer name, I will have a string. Customer email, also string. Customer address, also string data. Customer age is integer. This is what I want to store. Gender is either male or female. Yeah, so these are the data that I am going to store inside my database. Okay, so now, so what you have to do here, okay, you are going to have customer email, customer name, email, address, age, and gender. So these are going to be your database data. All this information will be customer name, email, address, age, and gender. So we'll have those. So how are you going to show in your Z schema, okay, because this is your database, how are you going to put here to communicate with your database data? Okay, so this is where your declaration takes part lah, inside your state space. Okay, because state space is used to deal with your database data. Okay, so now I want to have customer name. I can use the same variable lah. So I can use customer name colon. Okay, for now I will just follow like this. Later, when you learn other things, then we will do other things. So I have customer name, string data. When you see the word string means basic type. So have you done anything related to the name here, basic type? So you go up back to your basic type. We have name. Okay, we have name. Then we put name. Okay, sorry. We put that. Okay, just do like this first. Then after that, customer email. Okay, string data also. Okay, then string data normally basic type. You go up. You see, oh, we have email. Then you type email. Okay, customer address. Same thing, string. You go for basic type, got address. So you put address. Okay, then customer age. Okay, customer age. Integer. So age cannot be negative. So integer, normally you go for N. Okay, Then after that, customer gender. Because you are going to choose male or female. Then normally will be free type. So you have gender here. Then you put gender. Okay, you put gender. So from here, this is how you start with your declaration. So whatever that you are going to have here will communicate with your database data. Whatever your variable that you put here will communicate with your database. So now remember also, when you do this statement, this is one record only, one data only. In our database, we normally will have more than that. Okay, so we will have more than that. So we put power set. Okay, we put power set. We put power set. Okay, but for the N, infinite set, we don't need to put power set anymore. We just leave it like that. But for gender, even though each of you will have one gender only, but because we have many customers, you may have a few female, a few male, and so on. It is many data also. So you just put power set also, even though one customer, one gender only, but because we are going to have many customers, then we will have also power set gender. Okay. So now let's say I want to put the constraint predicate. For now, I put the predicate. I want to say that the customer age here must be more than 21, minimum age. So what I need to do here, I can just put customer age must be greater or equal to minimum age. So this is the condition for my system. Okay, the condition for my system. So this is the predicate part. Okay, this is the predicate part. Means that I want to tell others that for the customer to join my or to register as a customer for my shop cannot be below 21. Okay, must be 21 and above. So when you check the customer age, must be greater or equals to 21. So I have to put a general condition as this one. So this state schema here is to show that this is the general condition for all. Because later when you want to add customer, you have to check the customer age, whether it is greater or equals to minimum age. So it is this value is to show the general condition. Okay, so you put inside your state space schema. Okay, so this is your state space schema. So the next one after your state space schema, okay, after your state space schema is your initial state. Okay, so initial state. So let me proceed with this one, or let me put down. Okay, so after your state space, then your initial state. Okay, when we want to do initial state, okay, when we want to do initial state, we want to initialize our variable here. Okay, we want to initialize variable from our state space schema. Okay, when we do our initial state, we want to initialize our state space schema. So from there, we still use the same symbol, okay, Z schema symbol. So the name, normally for me, if my state space name customer, for initial state, I will use init customer. But it's up to you. So the name of the schema is up to you. But for me, when I do the initial state, okay, I will follow the schema name, the state space schema. Okay, so means that here it is customer. Then here I just put the word init in front. Okay, init in front. Okay, so now how to do the initial state? It's actually inside the lecture slide. I will proceed also later with the initial with the slide. So how to do initial state? Okay, on top here, okay, at the declaration part here will be the declaration, right? But initial state, we don't have to declare, but we want to link with the state space here. We want to link with the state space. So how to do that? At the declaration. Remember just now, inside the declaration part, I said about schema inclusion. Okay, if you remember just now in the declaration part explanation just now, other than variable declaration, there is a statement there stated about schema inclusion. Okay, so remember that. So in the initial state, I want to initialize all these things from the state space schema. So rather than I copy paste everything, put inside the initial state, then why not I include this customer here into my initial state. So how to include? Okay, the name of the state space is customer. So what you have to do inside the declaration here, you put customer. Okay, so customer here is what we call as schema inclusion. So when you put customer here inside the declaration part, it means that whatever that you have, all these are similar like copying into this part. It's like copy all those variables into here. Okay, it's like copying everything into here. So you don't need to copy paste again. You don't need to copy paste customer name, customer email, customer address, and so on into your initial state. No need. When you do this part, it is the same as you copying the whole thing put here. So you don't have to copy one by one again. So when you do the schema inclusion like this, okay, it's similar like copying, then you can use whatever variable here into your initial state. Okay, so I will have customer name, email address, age, and gender. So I put down here customer name, okay, customer email just now, customer address, customer age, and customer gender. For example, those are variable. Okay. So when you want to initialize, you look at the type. You put equal, yeah, and you see name, string data. String data, when you want to initialize, you put empty set. Email also, string data, email. Okay, then you put empty set. Address, string data. Same thing, you put empty set. For age, this one is up to you. Okay, you can, if you want to initialize to 0 also can, you want to initialize to 21 also can, it's up to you. But normally for me, I will initialize to 0. Why 0? Because it is n. N is integer. You don't put empty set. Okay, you put a value. Okay, so you want to initialize, normally I will initialize to 0. Okay, gender, if you want to initialize, you want to put empty set also can. You want to initialize to either male or female also can. But normally for me, I will initialize to empty set because I don't have any data. What's the point of putting male without name and so on? So normally I will put as empty set. Okay, so that is what we call as initial state. Okay, what we call as initial state. Then after initial state, it is either query state, operation schema, query state operation schema, and also change state operation schema. Okay, so for query state, remember, you need to have a symbol. Okay, so you are using the same schema symbol. Okay, use this one. Okay, the schema name may be operation. What is your operation? CRUD, add customer. Query. Display customer. Display customer info. I say, this is my operation schema. Display customer info. So because when I want to display, okay, when I want to display, there's no update to my database. So which schema that deal with database is our state space schema that deal with databases now. So I want to say that whatever variable here, whatever the data linked to the database will not change. Okay, so the one that deal with database is our state space schema. So how to show that? So what you need to do, similar like what you did in initial init customer, you put customer also, because the state space are dealing with the database. But now I want to tell that the schema does not have any updates. So in front of the customer here, I put Z notation. So from here, you see this symbol, this is Z notation. So you put like that. So when you put like that, you are telling other people that the state space schema, which are actually communicating with database, will not change the database data at all. Okay, so when you use this schema, this symbol, Z symbol, we are telling other people that our database data that communicating through customer state space will not have an update at all. Okay, so that is actually how you add the the Z schema. So when you go for the change state operation schema, okay, when you go for the change state operation schema, okay, so you are using the same symbol. Okay, let's say add customer. Yeah, let's say add customer. So I want to add the customer. So when I want to add the customer, before that, the customer must not exist yet in my database. Okay, before that, customer must not exist yet in my database. But after that, after I add the customer, there is an update to the database. So from here, okay, we are going to update the database. So also, we are talking about our state space schema, because the only schema that communicate with our database is our state space schema. So same thing here, our state space schema is customer. So we put here customer on top here. Okay, so when we put here customer, but later when we add customer, our database data will have an update. Okay, will have an update. So when the customer have an update, the database of customer will have update. So we have to tell people that through this operation, okay, through this operation, there is an update to our database schema. Okay, so here for query, we put Z notation. So for the change state schema, we use delta notation. So delta notation is a triangle here. So you put in front here. You want to put space, no problem. You don't want to put space, also no problem. Sometimes I prefer to put space to show you that, to make it clearer that you have symbol here. But without space also no problem. It's not, how to say, it's not an error. If you don't put space or you put space, it's not an error. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so that is actually what you have to know, the step by step until operation schema here. Okay, so any question about this before I proceed with the lecture? Because I haven't shown you pre and post condition yet. So I just want to show you how to do step by step of from state space, initial state, and operation schema. So any question on here before I show you the slide? Oh, okay, Okay, so let me proceed with the slide. Okay, so just now through Microsoft Word, I just show you step by step on how to do the state space, initial state, and also operation schema. Just a simple scenario on how to do that. So let's proceed with our pre and post condition. Okay, where normally pre and post condition, you will see inside the operation schema, either change state or query state. Okay, so you will see a lot in your operation schema. Okay, so also just now, if you refer to the previous slide where you have inputs and outputs also, you will see a lot also inside your change state or query state. Okay, so when we do our pre and post condition, okay, assuming just now I use customer, here I use student. For example, we have the basic type called student here. And then this is actually similar to your one of the tutorial exercise where I have max player 20. Okay, this one I put badminton club. In the tutorial, I think I changed to tennis club. Okay, so it's actually will be similar. Okay, will be similar. Okay, so what we have is actually after we do basic type, you may have free type, and then you may have axiomatic definition here. For example, this now, the step by step just now, from the basic type, you have free types, and after that will be axiomatic definition. Okay, so after that, you start do the state space schema. Okay, state space schema. So inside the state space schema here, I am showing that I will have two variables that deal with database. So means that my database will have two columns. Just now I put email, name, email, 5. Okay. So just now I put 5 columns, right? So now for this scenario, I have 2 columns only. Means one for badminton, one for hall. So badminton is to show all the members in the badminton club. Badminton here, the variable badminton here is to show all the students who are actually